Give it a minute. All right. Hopefully the camera catches this, but I had a whole video with a teardown. Happy Liberty Weekend. I got the 427 torn down, and I could do a teardown video, but there's way better ones out there. The main thing that I was after is to check the crank, the main journals, and the rod journals, and the cylinder wear is not bad. Clearly this is a low mileage engine. It still has the stock pistons. The skirt wear is normal. This is a 10-to-1 motor. It's a passenger 335 427, and essentially I have decided to kind of change the trajectory of what I want to do with this, because I upgraded the fuel system in the olds, and that kind of snowballed. Finnegan, what are you doing? Dude, this dog, the older he gets, the more wild he gets. He's just kind of looking for random shit to chew on in the shop. But anyway, so with changing the fuel system, I learned how it can snowball. And the fuel system was a major upgrade, but it's good. We raced last weekend and everything was good. And it was a good upgrade because we do want to go to the 85, and you know, now we have the capacity for that, and that's fantastic. But it kind of reminded me that on paper, yes, this is a straightforward situation that's been done a lot. It's not going to be straightforward. Just like my fuel system, it's not going to be straightforward. And really what I need to make the Oldsmobile better is to put it down for a while. And what I am thinking is, both cars are going to be kept put together, but I'm going to put together this 427 mildly, keep the compression about the same, 10-to-1. We have a nice cam from Cam Dynamics. It's already broken in. The double roller timing chain in here is absolutely brand new. The rod bearings, the main bearings in this thing, they're all good. Everything is good. We might polish the bearings with newspaper. You've seen us do that in other videos. But everything is just going to get a good cleaning. And I think I'm just going to put this thing back together and put together a turbo 400 for it with like a 2500 stall and stick that in the Pontiac. And that's what we're going to mainly race and drive next year. And it's going to give us time to cage the olds. And most importantly, I think I'm just going to keep the olds powered, because, you know, I kind of had a moment where I'm like, this is the longest I've ever had an engine in this car, in the olds, as I'm referring to and pointing to it right now. We have a lot of runs on it, and this year we have been we've been racing a lot, and I mean a lot. We got a lot of runs on that little 350, and the last time we took it apart, it looked great, and you know, still, I assume it's going to be great. And we have some things in the works that may allow us to stay olds powered. I mentioned it in the past, and my buddy finally said, hey, come pick up this 362 short block. It needs a rod. But that's going to be the basis of a good bottom end for us to use with our current cylinder head package. And I think there's a lot of sentimental value to keeping the olds powered, besides just being a purist. I'm not a purist, but I worked hard to get the car to run what it runs, and have taken it to where a lot of people probably would have given up and just said, hey, there's no replacement for displacement. And I'm like, crank it. We're going to keep bumping the RPM up. And, you know, there's something to be said about that. We've taken it to a level that I think a lot of people usually would have probably given up with the 350 olds. But ultimately, I'm going to put this engine together. We're going to run it, and it's a 27, man. I mean, it's a 427, and people just, there is a magic behind that number where we could get this engine running and we could probably sell it and make money on it. But I think this is the proper engine for our Pontiac, because it's going to have torque, it's going to have plenty of go, and a lot of zip to it. This engine, I pulled this out of my boss's 1969 Impala. This engine, even with a dead cam lobe on the exhaust side, hauled ass. And I mean hauled, for a 5,000 pound tank. So I have no qualms about saying I think we could do high 12s in the Pontiac with this engine, because the Pontiac's only 3750 with me in it, and that'll keep us in the game. We'll be able to race, but it'll give us time to really put some attention to the Oldsmobile where it needs it. And the best things that I ever did to that car was when I took my time and, you know, put it down for almost a year or a season. And I think this is where it needs to happen now. And we need to cage the car, box the frame, fix a couple of areas. You guys know we cracked the frame last year. You know, there's areas that need attention. And, you know, since we're going to use up this 427 well, and we're going to get another 350 Olds, that's a 362 cubic inch, we may as well stay with Olds power. So there's that. And I know I keep going back and forth, but I am a constant thinker, a constant tinkerer, and really after tearing this engine apart, there's absolutely no reason to go nuts on this thing. We're not that crazy about going that fast. We're having fun going out there and racing, running 1160s, bracket racing, index racing. We ran pro on Saturday, and you know what? I was just testing the car on Saturday, and that was my way to test, was just to run a class. And we went into the second round and got eliminated, and it was a race. He got me a little bit better on the line, and he ran it closer, just a little closer to his dial. He beat me by just a little over 100th of a second. I'll call that a good race because I'm not like that kind of bracket racer where it's like, you know, you're winning, and especially that class, you're not winning and losing races by thousands. Doesn't get that tight in that class. Usually when you're getting in a super pro, like no box and box, those guys, they're winning races by thousands. So, but we're having a lot of fun just racing the car as is, and I really don't want to change it. I don't want to complicate it. But you guys are going to get content, and I now have to change everything that was in my head, because now I have to treat my 77 Pontiac Bonneville like a Chevy Caprice. Now I have to ask around, what headers are you running mainly? Yeah, I think this is going to be the setup, and I hope you guys are going to be patient with my constant mind changing. But I think this is the way to go for instant gratification, is to just kind of put this back together, because this engine did run really, really good in that Impala. I drove it a lot until I realized that it had a flat cam. And that's a story in and of itself. If you guys want to hear it, I can dive into it, but essentially I built a 468 big block Chevy for that Impala, and my boss wanted to keep this because it was original to the car, and he ended up selling it to me. I always wanted this engine because it was a 427. It's a 427, man. There's just something about it. So anyway, you know, big bore, short stroke, RPM, everything you want. It'll work for you. I know guys say that there's no replacement for displacement, but I think most guys would struggle to run mid-11s with a 455 Olds than with a 350 Olds. And for as many runs as I have on that engine, I don't think they're going to touch it with the budget that I had and the money that I got in it. And it might be unique to me because of my horse trading, but it's just the way we work around here. It's how we do things. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope you guys are enjoying your Labor Day weekend. So share, like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram as Copper Cutlass, and stay tuned, because now that we know that we have good shit, and stay tuned, we got a cylinder head video coming up. 4 big block Chevys, Merlin heads versus stock, you know, close chambered oval ports. So stay tuned for that. But now that we know what we got, we can plan. And it's taken a while. We've been racing a lot and been busy. So bear with me. We'll see you guys around.